Okay, welcome back to PyraPOD. And today I'd like to make a quick video to show a full line of product we design. Basically it's PyraPOD 4 and PyraPOD 8, but with different configuration for different purpose, right? So today I just like to you know, showcase the whole thing and give you a short explanation. As you can see, the idea is to use for mass production, right? To cut the cost, right? You got to share as many components as possible, right? So for that reason, we show here it's there's a common element, common structure, which is the pyramid, the little pyramid on each of these structures, right? So for example here, this is the smallest one. We simply pick the pyramid and the four columns and make it short. So and then make a container, and then we covered up, right? With cover with one layer of fabric, and then we put the whole thing inside within the container so that no bubbles can escape, right? So this way we can create a device, a structure, low and enough to play with the bubbles, right? So the idea is to make something like this, right? And then we don't have to put it on high, but actually to make it very low, accessible, right? We can the idea is to show not just for mass production, right, but also to show to anyone that who like to do DIY, right? Who look at this and say, "Oh, this is so easy. I can make one," right? So that's the idea. Yeah. So this we call bubble box. Okay, it's look like a box. It's just with a pyramid top, right? And the angle, everything the same. All over. The same. So you can, for those who want to start, we suggest you start with small, right? You start with this bubble box and play with it. Make sure the bubble generator is working according to the need, right? Make sure you can produce a lot of bubbles with this type of device, and then you can move on to build bigger ones, right? So that's what it is. Very simple. It's just a bubble generator hanging on one of the corners, right? And then just so a pump will be placed within the container. Some water, right? The soap liquid, and then the pump will pump to the top, right? And create some pressure, and then there will be spray nozzle, right? And then spray to the two opening, with the two opening covered with screen, right? And then the liquid water captured, fill that the screen, and then the fan create a pressure inside, and so the pressure will push the air out, then to create bubbles. Yeah. note that in this design, actually you can make this whole face, see this triangle face, it's covered with a screen, simply a screen, so that the you, instead of drawing air from inside, you can simply draw air from outside, right? And that way you can produce lots of bubbles, so this is another way, right? One way is to just seal everything, I mean the cover, right? But the other way is to make this part open to the air, but with a screen, like a window screen, and so the air can easily come in. Note that also this should be sealed, right? This actually should be like this, sealed. We forgot to do that. So that the fan will be here and create a, that will draw air from here and push into the box, right? This is sealed, and then the air has no way to go but to go through the two openings, with the liquid, soap liquid, fill the screen, and then the bubbles can be created, right? And the bubble will fall down, right? So that sort of thing, and this way you can play with the bubble generator without putting, actually installing in your structures, right? So that's that. And the second one is simply the same thing, exactly the same thing, but with longer legs, right? With longer columns, so that a person can walk in, maybe in this case, it's hit, she will hit her head, but slightly, higher, that you know that what I mean, right? So this way we can turn this bubble box into bubble tower, right? And in the summertime you can use that to create a spectacular view, right? Lots of bubble pouring down from top, and people love to run through it, just have a bubble bath for a few minutes, for a few seconds, right? And it will be fun.
Next up, for your viewing pleasure, we have the amazing and wonderful and magical disappearing act, who will be performed by yours truly, Ada the Potato. And Ada, whenever you're ready, my dear.
Bye-bye.
And she's gone, just like that. It's me.
I've escaped the bubble.
It's me.
So as you can see, this part is simply this central section, right, pulling out, right? So you see it's this is the pyramid, and this is the four column. And so basically, this is a larger version, and this is the real case for small PyraPOD, or that they can build and grow, fish and vegetable, right? Grow something within, right? So the idea is to create a closed, and controlled environment, and you can grow things inside, And as you can see, the this roof has a double layer structure. As you can see, the double layer is pretty thick. It's this is 2 inch. So the idea is to fill the cavity, the double layer cavity, with bubbles. And there's 4 sections. And so that you can. For example, if this is south side, then in the summertime you want this, during the day, right, when the sun is very hot, you want to create a shade so you can produce bubbles, and then fill this side. By the way, actually in this case, actually, you can change the position of the bubble machine. In this case, actually, this side is south, because the air coming in, the bubbles will shoot out here and here. So anyway, so you understand the idea. So we can, from that easily, turn into this, and become the smallest one, or you can make it taller, make it even taller, and you simply, increase the height of the columns, right? Make it taller so that the door, the door is below this, top edge of the door is below this this part. And yeah, in this case, we have to make a special tent, right? Special covering so that a door can fit in. But in this case, it's completely free, right? So you can buy the full kit, right, with the panels, door, everything, or as you say, I just want this part, right? I just want the roof, right? The solo roof. Yeah, only the roof, right? And then you can just order that, and then you make the door, the wall, yourself, right? For those who are handy. Next one shows the full version, right? This we call a PyraPOD full tall, and this we call it grande or great, tall and great, right? Tall and grande. So, but anyway, so for those who drink coffee, right, Starbucks coffee, know what I'm talking about. Basically, just two different versions, right? To show the difference. So as you can see, this is simply extending. We make everything the same. So this bowl, you just the same thing, exact the same thing. You just turn it around, and then will be like this. Will be like this. So as you can see, there's two. See, one, that's one bowl. This is second bowl, right? With two bowls, and you got the full version. This is a PyraPOD 4 Grande, yeah. And then and so this way you have a bigger PyraPOD 4, with larger footing and larger space inside, right? And more transparency, because in this case there's the wall is shorter, right? The more fabric, and if you want even more space, vertically, then you can extend, right? Let me just I need to, and then you can extend the when you have too many things, it's yeah, if you want more vertical space, right, simply increase the wall, right? Make it taller, and then the even bigger. Someone say, oh, this PyraPOD 4 is too small, then we can then you can have this one. Yeah, by pulling the fourth section of PyraPOD 4, apart to create another panel, another section we call X section, X panel, and then we can have the octagon footing, right? And exactly the same, exactly the same thing. See, you see the two arc, two arcs, the bow, basically two, and then there's a vertical part, right? That's we call it PyraPOD 8 Grande, and this is PyraPOD 8 tall, right? So to change from this to this, you can see simply we remove everything at the corner, right? We simply use this part, vertical column, and make it long to the ground. So then we use as the boundary to create the wall, right? So that's that, and yeah. So this way you have a full line, right? A product, and for backyard growing. So yeah, the idea, as I said before, the idea is to simply use bubbles to create intermediate form of water. We know when we talk about water, right? We know water normally have three phases, right? The ice and water and the steam, right? In the case of steam, basically the water molecule in the air, right? We know it's thin. It can capture some heat, but the storage capacity is not that great. By creating bubbles, between the two layers, within the cavity, then we can create a dynamic fourth phase, right, of water. That's bubbles, right? Simply adding soap in the water, then we use air to blow bubbles. Then we can use bubbles to be the medium, so that it's easier to absorb solar thermal energy, right? Because in the bubble structure, the surface, the water surface area increase tremendously, right? And then and these are small bubbles, right? These are small bubbles, so that it's easier for the bubbles to absorb solar thermal energy, and then store it in the water. We have liquid tank actually, inside, and so this way we can simply use the free solar energy to keep our greenhouse cool in the during the day, and cold and warm in the nighttime. That's the whole idea. So if you work with greenhouse, the traditional greenhouse, the problem is once you have a covering, right, then you always have this two extremes, right? In the summertime, it's too hot inside, right? And in the wintertime, it's too cold, right? Because once the sun rises, right, and then the temperature rises with the sun, right, exposure. But after the sunset, then everything, no heat source, right? Then everything cool down, right? So how do you solve this problem? The two extremes, right? The daytime hot, the nighttime cold, right? And also the summertime very hot, and the wintertime cold, right? So by creating a double layer structure like this, and use soap liquid bubbles, as the medium to absorb solar energy during the day, and then store it in water, and then so that and also we use bubbles to create insulation, right? And this way all the thermal energy captured during the day can be used during the night, and it's a natural thing, right? And the heat will find its place to come out from water, right? And then and the heat won't escape, will stay inside. So that's the whole idea, very simple. That's how our atmosphere works, right? Because there's a lot of water molecules, in steam form in the atmosphere, right? But in our case, we use the bubbles to replace the steam, right? Because the steam, the capacity to absorb solar thermal energy is small, right? By creating bubbles, we dramatically increase its capacity to absorb, the solar thermal energy, and then make it easier, right, for the solar thermal energy to be transferred into the water and stored there. And then during the nighttime, winter time, you can use that to keep the greenhouse, the inside temperature relatively warm. So that's the whole idea, to utilize the free solar energy. So for those who still cannot perceive, understand the whole thing, you better go to our website and and check around, and hopefully can understand better, and know how it works, and then you can even build one yourself, right, by just simply looking at these structures, right? And for those who are not handy, you better then you have to wait for our product to be produced, right? Okay, hope you like this video, and hope this help you understand the whole thing better. And whether you want to build yourself, or you want to become a franchisee, marketing our product, or even join with us for other inventions, right? We have other things in line, right? On the way, we plan to even make electric cars, better electric cars, and even airships, better airships, safer airships. So a lot on the line, a lot on the way. So so hopefully you pay attention to what we are doing, and if possible, participate, no matter whether you want to do it yourself, DIY, or even contribute, right, to help us, right, to promote this product, and even help us to get the funding, right, to commercialize these products. Okay, so see you next time.
Next up, for your viewing pleasure, we have the amazing and wonderful and magical disappearing act, who will be performed by yours truly, Ada the Potato. And Ada, whenever you're ready, my dear.
Bye-bye.
And she's gone, just like that. It's me.
I've escaped the bubble.
It's me.